Part two, part two, part two, part two, part two. Today we here with again. Want to introduce yourself?
Marquise Wilkins, also known as Tiny Flintstone from Rolling 60s. Here once again with my boy. About to do another interview, touch on some real serious topics. Hopefully somebody gets something out of it, even
Hmm.
us.
Yeah, that's the goal. Is for everybody to at least learn something from this, or if they did have these questions and didn't have nobody that has ever been in this situation, these are most likely gonna be the questions that you gonna have. Um, and that's why we're here at Square View Podcast is to ask them questions from a square view. Um, but how you been though since the last time we talked?
Man, I've been cool, man. Just programming for real, trying to stay out of trouble, have some fun, make some money, take care of these kids, and build toward the future for real.
Yeah, that's the goal. We already know how getting that money is. Trying to
Man,
stay focused and shit like that. It's tough. It's tough now. You know, so it's tough times. It's not even like it's not easy, especially when you got
fact.
kids. You got your own bills and stuff going. And stuff is not easy at all. Um, and how you been holding up with all the outside stuff like politics and gas prices going up and groceries going up. How you holding up with that?
Honestly, man, I'll be staying so busy, man. It's hard to even worry about the politics, man, with all the with work, school, the kids, sometimes women, it'd be too much going on, man. So the politics gonna be the politics. Summertime gonna be summertime, it'd be hot. California people like to turn up, get into shit. So, I kind of stay away from that. I've been going to the little bars and stuff though, taking the edge off, getting the little shots here and there. Just chilling, trying to enjoy the summer. It's summertime, man. It's beautiful. People outside, beautiful women. It's a good time to be outside and try to enjoy it and catch a good vibe. But it is definitely a lot going on.
I think the last time we spoke, um, we had just a lot of people asking like about the inside itself. So, what you saying? It's hot out. You know, um, let me say, what's a better way of asking? It's like when it's summertime. Is that like how is it in there when it's summertime? More people coming in and going out than
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, prison is damn near like an imitation of the free world. Like we be in there doing our best to mimic this shit, the politics, all this shit. Even the way the president run it, it'd be like that on the yard with the shot callers and shit. Everything be kind of mimic with the money making. We be trying to escape that shit, so we trying to live like it. We free almost. You know what I'm saying? But motherfuckers definitely be in there not having things. That's like probably the brokest you ever gonna be is in prison. You just you broke. That's already irritation. It's hot. Most of them prisons is in the hottest places in California. No AC, and the COs like to play games in there. So they're summertime they turn the heater on, wintertime they turn the AC on, just to make you always uncomfortable. So it definitely be like high tensions in summertime. It definitely be a lot of tension rising on the yard. Most likely it's gonna be riots cracking off. Somebody might die. Like it'd be a high deaths in the summertime. It'd be people having heat strokes. Motherfuckers don't know how to take care of themselves. We ignorant. We just street niggas ain't really paid attention to no health chart or nothing like that. So dudes, it'd be a lot of negativity in the summertime for sure in prison. It's already a negative place.
so. You saying summertime is active in there, like kind of like the streets.
Hell yeah. And you gotta think on the streets, you might go be able to the beaches, go to be, you might be able to go to a beach, see some cheeks or something. You're gonna see some women, you're gonna see something that's gonna take you, you know what I mean, take the anger off a little bit, kind of calm you down a little bit. Up in there, it's none of that. Ain't no cars, ain't no clothes, no females. You in there looking at a hot, sweaty dude that look like you. Y'all both miserable. You know what I mean? And there's thousands of people around you like that.
Yeah. Are lockdowns normal during the times during summer times?
That's all year round on the yard I was on the 186, like 184 yard. You mostly
So
on
when you
lockdown
say
year round.
you saying it's year round, what does that mean? Like a lockdown year round?
Like you be locked down like probably 9 months out of the year. So you ain't coming out your cell, you ain't getting visits, you ain't getting packages, stored, nothing. You just living off of the state for like 9 months. Yo, and then they hold your packaging and all that shit up in storage. So by the time you get it, it's gonna be moldy. All your shit gonna be expired because you getting it 9 months later, more than likely. You know what I mean? Like you might have just had your package hit the yard that day we went on lockdown. So now you gotta wait 9 months to get your shit.
What do you mean?
And
Like, what do you mean? So people don't realize, like, when you saying like, oh, like I'm not gonna get my stuff for 9 months, or we're on lockdown for 9 months. What is lockdown necessarily?
that means you just in the cell for 23, like 23 hours and 45 minutes. You come out your cell for 15 minutes to take a shower.
For
And then
nine
that's
months
it. Go back
straight?
to your cell. Huh?
For 9 months straight?
Yep. Sometimes that it don't always be 9 months. Sometimes it be 3 months, a month. But if somebody die or if it's a bit, or at least when I was in there, it might have changed now because I heard they can't, like they changed a lot of the laws to where like it's not just, or they found it's inhumane to keep a person in a cell that long. So I don't know now how it is, but when I was in there, you would be in there, you could be in there for a whole year sometimes, just locked down. And then they might try to program 2 or 3 people at a time, bring out 2 blacks, 2 Mexicans and see, and then it'll probably go up again, back on lockdown for another 3 months.
And does this is this something that's like? Do you feel like is legal at that point? Like,
Yeah, according to the Constitution, is legal. Anything that after you become a prisoner is legal. You legally a slave according to the 13th Amendment. So they could do anything they want to you, basically.
I would feel like you know. So being secluded, that's like kind of normal to you. Like just being, just being secluded. That's normal.
Yeah, that's like it's normalized for sure. Sure. Once you get in there and you see everybody in here programming already adjusted to this new society, it's like what you will be an odd one out to be like freaking out or like losing your mind in here. You know what I'm saying? You gotta adapt
So
because
it's
it
not
ain't gonna
like
get no better.
county jail 23-1 where niggas is in there screaming they fucking head off and fucking.
I mean, sometimes it get like that if you've been on lockdown long enough, motherfuckers start. But you got TVs, you know what I mean? Dudes be having phones, they got tablets now. So it's like you got shit that be like, you kind of be happy you're on lockdown sometimes. Cause it's like, damn,
Yeah.
shit, I ain't gotta worry about coming out here losing my shit.
At any point in time, do you feel like you've gotten to the point to where like, man, I gotta get up out of here? Like we've been locked down too long.
Hell yeah. For sure. When I was a little immature youngster, I was getting into it my cellies thinking I was gonna get me out of there, get me into a new prison. That shit would just get me sent to the hole and go right back to the yard, right back on lockdown. So I'll be like on double lockdown. The whole worse than being locked down on mainline. The whole is you get nothing for real. Like you ain't getting no pay. You know you ain't getting no pay. You can't even order a package.
So
It's
even
straight
though
punishment.
straight punishment,
Yeah. You might not
what's
even be able to get visits depending on what you back there for.
what's the worst? What's the longest? Have you ever seen someone be segregated while everyone else has had the ability to have movement?
Yeah, that's called it's a name for it. LOP. Lockdown only program or something. It's called something like that. I think it's LOP. If they put a sticker on your door that say LOP, That mean you can't come out.
And what are those mainly for? Those LOPs? What are they?
It's like, yeah, if you got a write up on the yard and they like something happened, you got caught with a phone or you know what I mean, got caught smoking tobacco or something. It could be there's some little shit. They'll put you on like lockup. They'll put the sticker on your door and you can't come out. Your cellular go out to the yard. Everybody else around you will go out except for you. You got to sit in the cell.
For how long have you seen people get that?
I think be like 4 to 6 months, 2, 4, and 6, something like that. I think they do 90 days. Like they do a shit like that.
That's crazy. That's that's to me. I would feel like that's inhumane. Getting 3 months, but it's
I mean, prison is inhumane. It's an inhumane place. You being warehoused in a box like an animal.
Have you personally ever met someone while being what's the max in there, like the whole, what's you ever seen somebody that like, damn, you need to be here?
I ain't gonna lie, hell yeah, shit. I used to be like, a lot of dudes, it's some evil people in there, but I don't know. At the same time, I be looking at like where I came from and the people I know, and I be like, man, I want to see them free, so I can't look at me and my people that way, and then I think the same about them, because it's like we down there is doing the same shit, but some people just caught up in it. They still caught up in that mentality, like they just started their venture in the streets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you never know when a person time to mature is, or if it is.
If there
I
ever
just feel like
have
that ain't my place.
one.
Yeah, that ain't my place to say, oh man, that nigga need to be in here because he is like, because somebody probably said that about me before, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's understandable. That's why I always, that's why I want to ask these questions. There's certain questions that I feel like, the average person that, they don't commit no crime, they've never been in this situation. These are stuff people are gonna ask. I'm also gonna ask you, growing up, did you ever feel like you had a choice doing what you were doing?
Yeah. And my fault, I got a phone call.
You're all good. You're all good.
What is that? Nah,
Um, did you ever feel like you had a choice growing up where you grew up? Did you feel like you had a choice doing what you were doing and how it ended for you?
not at the time, nah, because it just I always been like a go with the flow type of person. Like I don't know, I just be feeling like if it's happening this way, I gotta see where it's going. Like let's see, maybe this where my journey meant to go. So I always was kind of just hanging with my family. Like I said, my family that I was kicking it with, they my age. They all was from the hood. My uncles from the hood. So I'm kicking it with members, even the ones that ain't from the hood. My other family, they from Compton, got Compton Crips, Bonnie Hunter, but everybody is a member from somewhere. So it's like I'm not even hanging with squares. I'm never hanging with non-affiliates. You know what I mean? But I live in the hood with my family, so I'm always around them. And to be honest, they kind of knew how to turn that shit on and off. So when they around the family, we just on some skater shit, square shit. Like even when I'm with them, like in the hood going around, they banging, they hang with their homies, you know. But it don't really be like that's what all we doing. Like we skateboarding and trying to crack females, and
Yeah.
the most fucked up thing they was doing was socking out paisas trying to rob them and shit. Like that was shit that damn near everybody in LA was doing at the time. So it's like I really just was on some other shit. Like I wasn't even trying to. I was trying to rap, skateboard, and these are my homies. So I'm getting caught up with them. I'm doing what they doing. Like it just really was like it was like organic how it happened. I started going to jail with them. Once you go into jail with members, you locked in. Like everybody else that see you coming in with them is gonna look at you as a part of their game. So it's like you really ain't got no choice after that. And once I'm in jail fighting and you know fighting for the hood, basically, it's like the homies like, bro, when you get out, you got to get put on. Like it kind of wasn't no choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm already in the activities. I'm already doing shit that a 6-0 would do. So it's like you from the hood, basically. You know what I mean? even if I didn't get put on, I'm already from the hood because a nigga already doing, you know what I mean? I'm already full, like jumped off the porch basically.
Yeah, you're already
But
participating basically. You're participating and
yeah,
hanging out. You know, you kind of have no. So you're gonna say
hell
you
yeah.
basically had no choice. You know, at that point, you know, it's kind of just
But see, I did. The reason I kind of was about to say I did have a choice because I had my pops in the Bay. They was trying to get me to move up there. Like that would have been, I was living up there with him for a little bit, and it was shit was going different. So that's why I say I had a choice, but I just didn't know my pops, so it kind of felt like I didn't because I ain't no dude. I ain't really feel like going through all that. You know what I mean? Trying to
yeah.
get to know this dude, and I'm already in my team. I'm already feeling like a grown ass man. I'm already doing some real dangerous shit in these streets, and then this nigga finna try to, you know what I mean? That shit didn't register to me at the time, but it probably would. It would. I definitely had a choice, and it probably would have been a better choice.
Do you think that fatherhood affects a lot of people that want to join gangs? Do you think that's like a almost like a route to say 85% of people that or men or even women that join a gang is due to
I
having
mean,
a parent is
yeah, for
absent
sure.
parent?
Not even just an absent parent or a present parent, but a parent that's a good parent. Like, cause there's some parents that's raising their children to be from their hood. You know what I mean? They raising their children to be just like them. They thinking that it ain't no other option for them but to do what they did. So a good parent that's on the right track and that's really paying attention and that's really present, yeah, that definitely make a big difference.
Have you seen
Cause if
that
you got a
happen?
Yeah, hell yeah, I got some homies I grew up with that used to be telling me all the time, man, stay your ass, finish class before you go to the hood. Like I'll be ditching every day. They would be like, they still from the hood, but they not even really from the hood, but they hanging out with us,
Yeah.
but they still taking care of business. Like they going to school, they going to after school programs, they in sports. You know what I mean? They already trying to think about their job they gonna get before they even get to college or out of high school and shit. Like I had friends like that, and they father and mother was present, and they used to be on their bumper. So that
Yeah.
shit definitely made a difference.
Have you seen it the other way around where mom's 6-0, dad's 6-0, uncle 6-0 and it just falls in line like dominoes, you know what I mean? Have you seen it like work like that? Like
Hell yeah, a gang, not just my hood too. I know a gang of people like that. I hang with them every day. Talk their whole family from the hood. Like it's regular. That's how they be. Like that's how I'm looked at when they see me. They be like, shit, nigga, whole family from the hood. Like the females and all. So yeah, it be like that. It just be you don't even realize it's happening. It just be natural. It's like this the tribe you grew up in. You know what I mean?
have you seen people stray away completely regardless of everyone being affiliated, regardless if it's mom, dad,
Hell
uncle,
yeah,
cousin, sister, you just got that one kid that just
yeah.
yeah,
It always got both effects. It always got it's gonna have a good or a bad effect because some kids grow up with their own leaders like mine. They already got a strong mentality and they be looking at that and be like, I ain't that shit dumb. I'm not finna do that. I know some people like that grew up watching their whole family, everybody around them gang bang, get killed, go to jail, and they just be like, I'm not doing that shit. That shit for the birds. That's the dumbest shit I ever seen. Why would I want to follow in their footsteps? Why would I want to make the same mistake they made? And
was
they do it
was
different.
was getting pressure different compared to back then than it is now? Getting pressured into being in a gang compared to is now.
Yeah, it's different, and it might actually be worse now because you got so many different influence. You could get pressed from the internet now. You used to just get pressed on the streets. Now, dudes feeling like they connected to your hood just from seeing you on the internet talk about some shit. Ain't never seen it or nothing. They just hearing you tell a story, and they feel like I'm locked in with that. Like I can relate to that, and probably can't even relate to it at all.
That
You know
was
what I
gonna
mean?
be
It's
my bad. Keep continue.
no. I was just gonna say no. It's just I feel like that's just an extra. It's extra pressure now. Like the pressure is heightened now.
Do you that was gonna be my next question. Do you feel like social media changed the gang culture compared to like when I'm pretty sure you were gang banging when there wasn't no putting it on the internet at all. It wasn't
Yeah, no, I wasn't
probably
no internet.
yeah.
Not like this. That's for sure.
So do you think the internet has changed gang culture completely for good or worse?
I ain't gonna say it really changed it, but I feel like it just exposed some stuff that was already going on. Like clout chasing been a thing in the streets. That's what the streets about. Getting clout, being the biggest known the popularity contest, like known for whatever, getting money, killing, robbing, whatever it is, you know what I mean? You want your name to ring bells. That's to me, that's clout. You know what I mean? So the internet just gave dudes that couldn't get clout in the streets a platform to get it now on the internet, in my opinion. Or people that's addicted to the clout that was probably getting in the streets, now they can get it on both. You know what I mean? So people and then dudes think they smarter than that. Everybody think they smarter than the average dudes, you know what I mean? So they think they could just manipulate this internet, but it most of the time you see it backfire on them.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of times trying to manipulate this internet in your favor to get clout or get money, you you know it come with some sacrifices. So you that could be the influence that you putting on the children, or that could be, you know what I mean, the attention you putting on yourself.
Yeah.
It comes with some sacrifice that you just got to be comfortable with if you a clout chaser.
So do you think like with the internet being the internet, do you think do you think what do you think kids think gang life is compared to what it actually is when it's not on the internet? You're not just looking at people on the internet on your phone and then they actually go and say, hey, I want to go get jumped in, or hey, I want to go actually go do something to be a gang member. Do you think they realize at the time, like, oh, this is serious? Or
Nah,
do you still think people think it's a game most of the time, huh?
hell yeah, I thought it was a game even when the homies was telling me it wasn't. Like even when I was in that shit watching dudes get killed, go to jail, it was all a game to me. It was all fun and games. Like this shit, this how the life is. It's wild, wild west. Like we living like that. Survival of the fittest. Whoever make it, shout out to you. You know what I mean? That's just how it was. Like, but yeah, they definitely don't know because honestly, even like you don't realize it when you were a youngster and you were just in it. But later when I reflect, I'll be like, man, that shit was scary as hell. It's crazy how we was living for real. Like, it's really like, damn, we could have anybody could have got smoked. I could have got my mama killed. I could, you know what I mean? I could have got my little baby brother smoked. It's like you be so selfish, you don't think about that stuff until you mature, you know? And it's like you not really affecting yourself. That's the thing about your life. It don't just be about you. It's always about somebody else. Somebody always watching you. You always gonna have an effect on somebody else, whether you want to or not. So yeah, they definitely don't see they just see how I saw it as a kid. It's fun. Like it look all fun. You see people promote music with switches and buttons and all this, you know what I mean? Looking like they just everybody a killer, everybody got bodies and ain't nobody going to jail. It looked fun. Like it looked like real life Call of Duty, GTA or something. So of course it's gonna be enticing to the kids, especially if they never experienced it. They could be getting bullied or you know what I mean? Like they might be dealing with a lot of insecurities or something. And it seemed like these gang members ain't got none of that to deal with. They seem like they just the shit. You know what I mean? That's what it looked like
And
with
nothing
social
bad
media.
happens, it's always,
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
exactly. It looked all good. Even the way, even the death, they celebrate that. Smoking ops, like even that become a part of the fun. Like everything just seemed glamorized. And social media know what they doing. They promoting the hell out of it. Like that's all you see is gang shit. You know what I mean? When you get on your phone, get on the internet, whatever, you're gonna see some type of gang violence, gang promotion. You're gonna see Snoop over here commentating the sports. You know what I mean? It's like you can't even avoid it. Just how it was growing up for me, I couldn't avoid it.
So do you think now that you see how the internet is, it makes do you say it makes the care that kids have for death and just regular shit just kind of like, oh, it's just something that's just gonna happen because it's just so accessible to everyday life that I would say back in the day, you probably didn't have a phone to go and see what your ops were doing. Now you can see your ops are tagging up your block and saying fuck your hood and while you eating breakfast and shit. You get what I'm saying? But now it's kind of like, do you feel like that enhances the I don't give a fuck? Like, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck now. Because now I can see what they doing. Do you think, like, the simple fact of people having internet access to stuff like that, like the kicking candles over, the and people not giving a fuck, they posting it on their own Instagram. Do you think that affects the murder rate to where it be like, now I don't give a fuck? Like, now, like, I'm gonna take it to there. Do you think that has heightened stuff to get, more? Have you seen it get enhanced more? The violence.
Nah, I can't. Definitely not. Definitely not out here. Like it was well, it seemed way worse when I was a youngster. Like I couldn't like I lived in the hood when I first got out for like almost 2 years, and it was people was getting smoked and shit. But I used to really like couldn't stand outside without being on every car because eventually we gonna get bust on. Like you know what I mean. But I went a long time like with just seeing people really focus more on their money, building like dudes in the streets now seem more focused on money. Now
Mm-hmm.
you might got like a lot of younger crash outs, you know what I mean? Dudes that ain't worried about no money, you know what I mean? They worried about some dudes just like that. They worried about catching a hat. Like they worried about chipping something. So but more now, I see more people just worried about their money. I ain't gonna lie. Like a lot of dudes even be messing with so-called enemies getting money with them and shit. You know what I mean? Like it's more networking going on. I ain't gonna say it's calmed down, but it's more of that than it is killing.
Is
Than
there?
when I was a youngster where everybody was just you could walk on the block and hey man, you trying to chip like a dude might just walk up to you like you trying to chip something like hey like you don't really see that too much. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's a gift and a curse with the social media because you might see that, but they been kicking over candles too. Like you might see that on the phone, but that been going on when I was a kid before social media too, and we just have to go walk around the block and find out about it. Like man, who the
Yeah.
fuck kicked over the candles? Like we own one. You know what I mean? We finna go catch whoever did this now. Like and just take, and it might have been worse then because you don't know who did it, so you gonna take it out on everybody. You know what I mean? And ain't really no cameras. You got time to do that. You got time to go
The
spin
first time,
everybody block.
first time I ever seen that happen publicly or even heard of seen that was uh the what was it, the BPS, what is it, the whatever, the what is their names, the gorillas, what is their names, I know you're talking about,
Yeah, the
I'm
Baby
talking.
Stone Gorillas.
That's the first time I ever seen candles kicked over publicly and put on video like that. And in my head, I'm gonna think, why would you post that and put that on your video? You know what I'm saying? I've never seen like that, and I would feel like that would put a big target on your back. I mean,
Yeah. But see, you already at war anyway. So it's like you doing that for a reason. One of your homies might have got smoked. It's already up anyway. So it's like it don't really matter. And you want to, you an active game member, you want to add fire to the flames. You know what I mean? That's what you want to do. You want to kick up some dust, make them mad. Make them mad and sad. That's what this shit about. You know what I mean? It ain't like we in here holding hands and kicking cans like we motherfuckers over here on bullshit.
is
When you in that life, that's just what it's about.
was this
So that
different from now compared to then?
now the only difference now is that you just see it on the internet. Like you can make a video and send it to your op or go live or something, you know. But it wasn't no difference. Like dudes, I done seen dudes come through the hood and not even buzz. They just get the dissing, throwing hand signs out the window and smash off. Like they do it. You know, people did that. They got videos like that in Chicago. They been doing that though. It just wasn't on camera though. It really ain't nothing new under the sun, except the type of guns they got, I guess, and the type of technology we got.
Has there ever been a time that you've been in that situation where people Came through, ain't did nothing, just
Hell yeah. Yeah, I've been in that. They came through just, hey, they ain't even dissed the hood. They just threw the middle finger out the window. Was like, fuck y'all. And smashed. I tried to smash off.
I mean, but at some point, does that not make you be like, you probably like, man, they didn't do nothing, but they could have, when you think about it now.
Yeah, yeah, of course now. But back then, hell no. I'm like, man, we on their ass. Who the fuck is that? Like, you know what I mean? Motherfucker just itching for that activity back then.
That's why
So
my next question is gonna be: does that affect you now, and what decisions you make?
yeah, for sure. Now, man, my mentality is totally different. I don't glorify no destruction. I don't even want to see nobody hurt nobody for real. I be hating that shit now. I be on some. I really wish I could talk to people and be like, bro, y'all are really stronger together. Like, that's not your enemy for real. Because once you go catch that life sentence, you're gonna be in here thugging with this dude for the rest of your life. This gonna be your best friend, closer than some of your family members. So it's like, yeah, that shit just, you know what I mean? I hate that shit now. I ain't gonna lie. I be like, I got a kid, so I always think about them like, damn, I do not want them growing up how I did. You feel me?
Yeah,
I want them to have a square life, successful life, shit. Like, be street smart, but live how these squares do, how you see these streamers, Dean and Gray, they out here with hundreds of beautiful women and on yachts and you know what I mean? I'm like, you could do stuff like that. You ain't gotta just
yeah,
be in the hood trying to have fun or find it. You know what I mean? You could travel the world. It's way more shit to do than be stuck in this little struggle land we in. Cause that's all it is. Everybody's struggling. And that's why everybody, you know what I mean? That's why we all miserable together. Motherfuckers over here, and you don't even know what real competition is because you in competition with your brother, and he's struggling. He pulling up with some shit. The nigga just passed for a ride. Like even if you pass for hundreds of thousands, you can't do nothing with it after that. Really, like you got to spend that shit immediately. You know what I mean? Like you ain't learning how to build real wealth. You just learn how to get money and fuck it off. Really.
is that because I've wanted to move to LA a few times, and people tell me that LA has a type of mentality where it's excuse my what I'm gonna say, but it's crabs in a bucket. Like everybody
Yeah, that's
trying
what
to
a
get to
lot
the
of people
top,
say.
and it's just kind of like you motherfuckers, you gonna get there, then they gonna pull you down. They gonna get there, they gonna pull you down. Do you feel like that? Have you ever felt like it's just you might so a lot of people will get there, then next thing you know, something happened to them, or
Hell yeah. I mean, the whole world could see that. If you just watch what's going on, every time you see somebody get there, they get smoked or go to prison. So it's like, shit, the action's always gonna speak louder than the word. The words you can just look and see, but that's not just L.A. That's just a thing that happened in all, like wherever the struggle is. I feel like because I done seen that everywhere in the Bay, in Texas, in New York, L.A. Like that's just something that you gotta really be disciplining yourself and know who to keep around. You got to know who to deal with, who to network with. You know what I mean? That's why you see a lot of people start dealing with other people. They don't deal with their own people.
yeah,
They get to dealing with other races and shit. Even though you could get fucked over by them too, but it's like they
yeah,
feel safer with them. They feel safer with them because it's like dealing with a nigga that came from where you came from is more likely to try to get over on you. You know what I mean?
yeah. Let's
So it's
let's
just
go ahead,
what you
continue,
say.
continue with that
No,
one.
no, I was just gonna say it's just you gotta know who you dealing with. You gotta really scrutinize the people around you and be careful for real and move a certain way. You can't just be super, giving. Like you can't just give yourself to
Hmm.
everybody.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing. Like your time is everything. And a lot of people forget that your time is everything. So make sure if you're gonna give your time to anybody, it's somebody who's actually gonna be beneficial for you. Someone that's even with friends. People, I hate the the fact that you have some people that say, "Oh, you use me," or You see, I would want someone to use me because if I'm not useful, means I don't need to be around in any sort of way. You have people that are very you don't need them, but if you need me, I would love to be needed. Because if you
Mhm.
if I can help you, you can help me. That's how I look at it. And regardless of that fact, you need to be useful in this world. You need to have people that are good for you in your corner. So you got to make sure you're giving your time to. You know what I mean? I mean, time is very valuable. It's not something that you could just give up to anybody, including the courts, fucking probation, fucking sitting in a cell. It doesn't matter what it is. Giving it up to a job that you really don't need either. That still counts. Something you don't need to be doing. You people go to work every day unhappy when you can literally be looking for another job. Don't get
That's a
comfortable. You know what I mean? A lot of people are complacent in this world, and you can't be complacent with the bad stuff that happened to you. You know, that's how people gain a victim mentality. Like everything bad has happened to me, and nothing's good ever happened for me. But sometimes you got to work for you know yourself and get stuff done for yourself. Um, One thing I wanted to ask you, we're gonna talk a little bit about like life on the inside. How much time did you do exactly again? Just run it by people who haven't seen the first interview.
16 years. Well, close to 16 years.
Close to 16 years. That's a long time. And what were you charged with?
But robbery at first, I went to jail for robbery and I guess evading, and then I later got picked up on burglary, murder, and attempted murder.
So, with that being said, you know how that's a long time. That was that your first time going to jail first, then going straight to prison, or you've been to jail multiple times and then
No, I had been in jail. Well, I was a juvenile, so I went to juvenile jail camp.
okay.
It's a camp facility, so I went there first, and then I got out. Like I said, I got out, got put on the hood. That's how I went to jail. At first, I wasn't really from the hood, and when I got out, that's when I went right. Like I went back probably like 7 months later.
Okay. And how was it being? So you went back 7 months later after getting put on the hood.
Hmm.
So you weren't on the hood when the first time you went to jail.
Nah, I back. That's what I was saying. I was with all my family from the hood. I was like avoiding get put on type shit.
Mm.
But they already have gave me a name and everything type shit. Like I basically was already me. They was already calling me Flintstone. So you know what I mean? I was basically already from the hood. My big cousin was telling me he was really pushing for me not to be from the hood too. Like he was like, nah, bro, like we on some other shit, like with this music, this skating shit. So, but a nigga, even my cousin was like still being like an influence with the gang shit. We still was on bullshit with each other. So it just happened that way.
Yeah, just kind of fell in that way. Like so,
Yeah. But I got out again after the 7 months. I went back. I went to jail twice before I caught the last case.
what's the hardest part about being involved and going to jail?
Honestly, it just feel like that's a part of it. That shit's so regular. Going to jail, you almost like that's like a stepping stone in this hood shit for real.
Is it like a
Cause
lot of
like,
being like, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm Flintstone. Nigga be like, nigga, I don't know you.
I mean, if you pushing like that, but my name low key, I ain't gonna lie, like I had done so much in like
To
the
the
little year and a
average
half I
person,
was out,
that's not you.
huh?
To the average person, that's not you.
I mean, I see a lot of dudes struggling like that, don't nobody know. But I don't know, I really wasn't worried about none of that because like once I was full fledged in it, like I was really doing everything I was supposed to do. You know what I mean? As a gangbanger. So my name was already super ringing. You know what I mean? Like it was already ringing bells like in the first month, really. Cause I was doing so much shit. Like the cases I caught kind of tell you what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like it was like the big homies I had, that's the type of dudes, that's the type of mentality they had, and they wanted their little homies to have. They was on you know what I mean, on bullshit. They was head busters. So that shit kind of like get you going. Like, and it don't take much in the streets to get you like you. All it take is like one demo, like one or two big demos or something, broad day or something. You know what I mean? Everybody talking about you. And especially if you keep that going, you know what I mean?
What if the average person that doesn't have any, say, demos, they got jumped in, like say you got jumped in 7 months it took you to go to jail, but in 7 months they haven't done really anything reputable that would make them known. Would they need to put
I
on
know.
a
Yeah,
demo
it's a gang
there?
of people like that.
Would
Man,
they?
it's a gang of dudes doing life like that right now. I know dudes that like they be low key joking, like they really good homies though, but like we'll be joking, like, man, you was from the hood for a month before you went to jail. Like, man, you was
And
it's
now
dudes
they're
that got
doing
put on the hood
life.
and went to jail that same day, got life that same day after they got put on the hood. So but it's like when at the time I got put on, we already know you. So it's like when you get put on it, we ain't looking at you like, oh, you just got put on. Like you been around, you know what I mean? Like you already know, everybody already know who you is. You just wasn't ready to be full fledged. Like you wasn't off the porch with it. You know what I mean?
That
You wasn't
wouldn't
trying to
make.
really hang out with the thugs.
Wait. How would that not make them full fledged if they end up catching a life sentence?
That's what I'm saying. But it happened that fast. I'm saying you was already hanging around, but you might not have been trying to chip nothing, or you might not have been trying to go get in the car with
I
somebody. You know
mean,
what I
the nigga
mean?
had fucking 12 hours.
Hey,
He could have gave
that's
a
how
nigga
fast it
more
happened
time than
though.
that.
But look, you know what's crazy? I was just talking to my brother about this because this really how fast it happened. I have a brother I told you about in the Bay from Richmond. He was square as hell when I first met him. Like when I first got out of prison, he was super square, wasn't on no type of gang, nothing. I left back to LA, and like the next month, I heard he caught a attempted murder. He over here caught a moving some bricks. Like he full fledged in the street. Like it happened like that. Like within a matter of a days almost. That's you know what I mean. That's just how quick it be happening though. Cause you never know. Like you only see what you see with with whoever you know, like your sibling or your son. You see them when they around you. You don't see them when they around other people. You know what I mean? You don't know how they are when they around other dudes in the streets. You know what I mean?
Speaking of stuff happening quick, how fast can it go from 0 to 100 in prison?
Man,
Does it like simmer or does it like?
nah, you got a matter of seconds to get your knife out and get cracking. Honestly, like when it's going, yeah, when it's about to go down, it's already going down. Like you, sometimes you see it coming, sometimes you don't. Like sometimes you might know it was tension, like some shit was brewing already. Somebody had an argument here, somebody owed some money here, somebody stole some, or you know what I mean, and it didn't get handled in time. Like sometimes you kind of know, like, all right, it's probably finna go up. But sometimes they might just get a word from the back or something like you never know what happened. Like something could have passed down from another prison, and then you come out and get surprise attack, and it just happened within a split of second, like within a snap of a finger. You got a knife in your neck, and you gotta react. You know what I mean? But that's why I surrounded myself around homies that was always ready. Like I never would just be walking by myself. I always got a homie around me that's really like looking around, got his head on a swivel, ready to get cracking. He a warrior. Like I was around, mostly around like the homies I grew up with for real. So like we already got a bond. We know like we got each other back.
Yeah.
It's no hesitation. When I see you cracking, I'm cracking.
How so? You're saying it's pretty common for like knives and what's the most common attack that you see people getting into in prison? If they wanted to get you, let's say they don't want to like unalive you, but they trying to get you up out of here. What's the most common weapon somebody will use that you've seen used or heard used? That just
A bone crusher.
what is that? You want to explain that to?
It's really just a long ass knife, like a long ass, usually a ice pick. It could be like they be having different like thick ass ice picks, and they got skinny ones that's like a screwdriver, like super long, and it's probably going. You know what I mean, they call it a bone crusher because that shit gonna penetrate some bone. You know what I mean? Especially if you put it together good. But yeah, dudes got swords in there. Like if you could look it up on YouTube, the prison knives they found. That's exactly what they be having in there.
What's the
Ginsus.
what's the biggest knife that you've seen personally?
Damn, I can't remember how big it was, but it was a buck knife. Like it was an actual real buck knife dudes had in prison.
So
I
would
can't remember
you?
how this.
So to the average person that's never been to prison, and probably don't know what a buck knife is. Would that have been probably something you don't want to run into?
For sure. You don't want to run into no knife, but definitely not a real manufactured knife from the streets that's professionally made. Hell nah. It's not because you know the prison knives, the handle be breaking off. You might get like 3 or 4 times to stab them before it break apart. It's like a throwaway. A real knife ain't finna break. You can stab them as many times as you want. It's sturdy. You know what I mean? You could go to work.
And what was it made out of?
It's metal with a plastic handle.
That was a real
Metal
buck
knife.
knife.
Yeah, a real bug knife. The ones that they gut bucks with, they use it to gut bucks, deer.
You know I'm gonna ask you next. They don't make buck knives in there.
Nah,
How would a buck knife it just
I don't know, man. Magic.
okay. Like
Hey,
Walmart
that's what they
buck
told
knife?
me, huh?
Like a Walmart buck knife or like this is a
Yeah,
real
real bug knife. People done got caught with them in there. You might see them if you look up knives and caught found in prison. You probably see some real knife. People done brought guns in there and all type of stuff.
Have you ever seen a gun in there?
No, I heard of it, but I haven't seen it. Nah.
Like where you were at, you've heard people getting guns and
Yeah, way before my time, I heard somebody got a gun in there.
hearing that and you've never let's say your first time being in prison, how was hearing that? Like, hey, niggas got guns where you at? Like
Nah, they wasn't saying it like they got a gun. They was saying like, man, this dude had a gun in here. Like they was saying it like on some it happened before type shit. Like you hear all type of stories in prison though.
when you went to prison the first time, was that the first time you ever seen the actual prison knife? So
Yeah.
yeah.
I seen knives in the county. I used a knife in the county. I had caught an attempted murder in the county. So I used a knife in the county. Like I learned how to make knives in the county. But yeah, seeing the knives in prison definitely was like, damn, like I'm like, these dudes, some of these motherfuckers got samurai swords out here.
Did it ever like make you be like uneasy when the first time being in prison? Did that make you be like, all right, yeah, I'm in
Hell
a
yeah, you gotta learn how to live with tension. That's prison. You gotta learn how to live with it and I just stayed jumpy for real and always had knife handy too. Like I got mine too. So it's like if it's up, I'm at least I know I'm gonna get cracking too. I'm gonna put some holes in your ass, try to get you up off of me.
what's the what's the first stabbing that you witnessed?
My own.
Was the first time you ever seen somebody get stabbed?
Yeah, I was
Not on
when
the
I stabbed
street,
somebody, to be honest.
not on the street,
No, I ain't never
not
seen nobody get stabbed on the street.
not previously being locked up. It was your own doing.
Matter of fact, no, I seen somebody get stabbed with a pencil in camp, as a matter of fact, but it was like it didn't really do nothing. It kind of just broke on his head, scratched him.
But your first stabbing was your own doing.
Yeah.
And talk about how that affected you having to walk us through how that went down.
Well, and I was in a juvenile module.
If you can.
Yeah, I mean, I already went to court for it and shit. I was in a juvenile module, and I was fighting my case. I'm fighting life, and I'm in there with a bunch of other youngsters that's fighting life and shit too. So we all in there trying to figure out how to, I just got there, so I'm trying to figure out like how do I get toilet paper, soap, and is they gonna give it to me? Things like that. It's a lot of enemies in there. They not trying to talk to me or help or say nothing. So I'm like talking to the trustee. It's a white dude. The trustees in there are adults from the main line. So it's a skinhead. I'm like, and I ain't know how to talk at that time. I'm kind of rude. Hey, let me get some toilet paper. He ain't like the way I said that shit. So he was like, what you say, boy? I'm like, boy. Yeah, I mean, a white boy just called me boy, so I'm automatically triggered. Like, nah. I'm like, hey, bro, you can keep the toilet paper. And then all the homies looking at me like, yeah, like. So I'm like, one of my boys gave me some metal after that. He like, I already know what you on. Gave me some metal. I ain't even really know how to make a knife. I ain't gonna lie. I tried to
And
sharpen that shit up.
what is the metal? What is it from? Or...
Anything you could find in there, any piece of metal, just try to break it off. But yeah, so I sharpened as best I could, and niggas told me the best thing to do is make a spear if you can't get out your cell. So I made a spear like probably as long as it was long as fuck from what's that called? Like my wingspan probably. So he came back
You made a
down trying to be
spear.
nice, huh? Yeah, spear. I put that shit on the tip like toilet paper, made it and kind of hardened it up, like paper mache with water and toothpaste, made it hard, and then put the knife on the tip of the spear, tied it up tight, and then he was coming back down there with the toilet paper. Now he was like, "Hey, you want this?" He was like, "Hey, you still need the toilet paper?" And I was just sitting there waiting, like with the spear behind me, with my hand behind my back. So when he came up, he saw that I had my hand behind my back. So I'm like, no, I'm good on the toilet paper. I'm like, hey, matter of fact, you got some soap here. And he started looking like, he kind of started trying to back up. So I hurried up and ran to the gate and just, and I hit him like right here. Like he tried to back up. So it scraped this and hit him in the neck. And then I hit him like one more time as he ran like in the back of his neck. He ran off the tier. And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So my stupid ass like started trying to rip it up and threw it under the bunk because it wouldn't flush. So I threw it under the bunk, nigga. The police came and got that shit, gave me an attempted murder. And they beat the shit out of me too. They took me in the hallway, brought all the
Now this
white
nigga
boys
worried
out.
about getting the shit beat out of him after he just tried to stab somebody.
Nah, look, they took me out handcuffed, hey, chained up from waist
No.
to
We
feet.
serious though. We serious though. But
Hey, they chained me up waist to feet. I'm 15 at the time. They chased me up waist to feet, and they was like, they brought me in the hallway. They brought the knife out, put it to my neck. They was like, you like to stab? And then they brought all the white boys out. They was like, what you want to do with them? The white boys was like, we want to fuck him up. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, take me out the handcuff. I try to hop up. The police slam me on the ground, start beating the shit out of me. I don't even know if the white boys got none in because they fucked me up so bad I really couldn't even see. Ian gave me a case after that. I thought they was gonna keep me on some street shit after they beat my ass.
so at that point, that being your first incident, probably of serious violence, at that moment, what was it like? Like, what were you? What was your head at? Like, you were like, yeah, I just did that, or like, yeah, did I just fuck up? You know what I mean? Like, what was your?
Just numb. Honestly, nothing. I was just worried about getting out them handcuffs so I could fight back because they was about to beat the shit out of me. Really, that's all I was thinking about. I definitely wasn't thinking about them giving me no case. I was just like, shit, hey, I'm fighting life already. Nothing mattered at the time. You know what I mean? They could have killed me. I probably wouldn't have gave a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? I just was like, nigga, it's over. I'm over here, nigga, caught, dead bang. Nigga, it is what it is. They got me on camera. Like I kind of was just like, I don't give a fuck.
How does that affect? How did that affect you? Like now, knowing that you can do those type of things, you know what I mean? Does that affect you in any type of way? Do you even like sometimes you think back like, man, I ain't gonna lie, y'all lucky. Like I ain't gonna lie,
Oh,
bro, you lucky, man.
well, me or somebody else I'm looking
You,
at. Like,
like somebody you
hell
looking
yeah.
at.
Man, I don't say I'm lucky. I say I'm blessed for sure. Cause I know I ain't supposed to be out. A nigga probably should be dead somewhere the way I was living. So I know I'm blessed, and I try not to take it for granted for sure. That's why I tell myself I can't continue to live like that because then I'm just saying fuck everybody, fuck all the chances I got, screw all the blessings. Like I can't do that. You know what I mean? I ain't that type of dude. I ain't that selfish. I see life for what it is. Like you made it out of that. You went through that for a reason too, and you got out of that for a reason. So you got to continue with the pace, continue going forward, and you can't step backwards. You know,
Yeah.
it happened for a reason though.
How do other people react to stabbings in there if they're not involved?
I don't really know. Everybody seems so like most people laugh at it. Like it'd be funny to dudes in there. Like when they see dudes get stabbed, you just see, especially if they screaming and shit like like a female. Like a lot of dudes start, they whole tone to change when they get stabbed. Like they turn into a whole different person. So like a lot of it'd be funny sometimes, but it'd be crazy when you see all that blood. But it'd be like, damn, he over there screaming like a girl though, like running. But it's messed up. But it's like, damn, the mentality we got so desensitized. It's just entertainment. If dudes down there be on the gate licking their chops, like, oh, get him, like, you know what I mean? Like it'd be like gladiator, like you watching a gladiator fight or something.
That was one thing. A lot of people refer going to jail, and certain jails and certain pods they refer to as gladiator school. For the average person that doesn't know what gladiator school is, can you give a definition of that?
It's survival of the fittest, exactly what it sounds like, where you going through hell, fighting maybe other races, your people, the COs, stabbing. Like it's literally a place that we used to call gladiator school that you go through before you get to prison. It was called YTS. I think they shut it down, but that's where I was at. It's a YA facility, youth authority. It's like juvenile prison. And you in there with some of the biggest dudes I ever seen in my life because you have weights in there. So dudes is huge walking around like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Don't care if you 4 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet, they gonna get at you all the same way. You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta fight a Hercules in there sometime. Like and shit, you might not fight him. Like a lot of times you ain't gonna fight a dude that big, you gonna stab him. So, you might I heard of it like I didn't really see too many stabbings, but I was like I was always missing it somehow. But a lot of people got stabbed in my unit when I was in YA too. That's also I went to YTS after I was in the county though. So I started seeing a lot more after my stabbing and I went to YTS, I started seeing a lot more stabbings.
And that's where
People getting
the
cut with
name
razors.
gladiator school comes from, because it's just
Yeah, because it's some real like people cut through the gates. They got barbed wire. People will hop over the barbed wire to get to their enemies. People will run like a football field to get to their enemies damn near. Like you'll do Supermans, you'll be like this to your enemy. If you see them in traffic, meet me halfway. You know what I mean? Like you always getting cracking, you always fighting. School, you fighting. We call it busting a Superman, where you jump out of line movement and go fly to your enemy, try to get him. Like
what's the worst you've ever seen somebody the the length someone has taken to get to someone in prison?
shit, probably one of my homies from 6'7", he got stabbed coming out the shower by a dude that he had got into it with almost 20 years before. Like he waited 20 years to get this dude. And he was on the yard with him
Nah.
for a cool little minute. Hey, he was waiting. He was on the yard with him for a cool minute too. Like we thought everything. We talked about it when he first got there. He was like, "Hey, bro, I had, like he almost killed the dude when he got into it with him. Basically, he was telling us like, I don't know what he on." And some time went by. He was talking to him, like making seem everything was cool, doing money deals with him, business moves and shit. Then one day, the homie was taking a shower. Nigga, he popped his shower open and just ran in there and started stabbing the shit out of him while he was in the shower. We
So
all in the cell, like, man, what the fuck going on?
so
We hearing
nothing
people
dies in
screaming.
prison. Nothing dies in prison.
Hell nah. Dude might remember something you did to his grandpa or something before he was even born. Shit.
um, I got some more questions about some stuff, but I have a question from somebody that actually it's a few questions from a couple people that wanted to ask. Um, what happens to people that tell in prison?
They get stabbed, removed, can't be on the yard, can't be on no yards.
No yards. Like, what do you like?
They are
Is
my fault, not no yard. They can't be on no uh general population yard, no main line.
and is that like everywhere they go, or
Yeah, everywhere they go. That's why you supposed to check your paperwork when you come to the yard. Like you supposed to present it to one of your homies as soon as you get there, or your homie gonna ask for it. On a good yard, y'all like a yard where that's programming the main line, they gonna as soon as you get there, they're gonna be like, "Hey, bro, let me see the paperwork. Slide your paperwork," and they gonna bring their paperwork to you just to make you, you know what I mean? Like this how it go. Like be cool. Like you could be comfortable. Here go my paperwork. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing like that. It's the rules and regulations of this shit.
can you tell go to prison and no one know?
People don't slip through the cracks. You might be a favorite and people hiding your paperwork. You might be a favorite and one of your G homies working in the law library. They might switch the names with your crime or something and sacrifice him. Like I done seen all type of crazy shit. Like ain't no rules in these streets for real. It's really, you know what I mean? It's favorites played in the streets with politics, just like real politics.
Have you ever been told on while in prison?
Hell yeah. The white boy I stabbed in the police told on me after they beat my ass. Shit.
Have you ever been told on and you never knew who told on you?
Hell yeah. Yeah, one time when I was having some motion in there, having a little money and phones and shit, somebody wasn't liking how we was programming and sent the goon squad at us. Came in there, raided our cell, told us they had some information. Somebody gave them some information, but they didn't tell us who.
Are phones so you have phones and how common are phones in there?
Now they now it's regular. Like now everybody be having phones. Seem like that's what I've been hearing. But at
I've
that time it was very rare.
I've heard some things about phones almost becoming. They're saying that there's probably more phones than there are prisoners.
Like, that makes sense, more than likely. Especially because not everybody can afford it. So they probably just sitting on phones.
I've heard that cell phone use is becoming a lot more common, um, a lot more carefree. Because I mean, there's so many they really can't fucking do anything about it. Um, how how much does a phone cost in prison? From
When I was in there,
from lowest to highest.
I don't honestly I have no idea no more. But I just know the number was going up when I was in there. It was like almost to like 2,500 when I went home for the lowest, for the cheapest. Now they got better phones, so they probably do almost 10,000, 5,000 or something. 6 racks.
Yeah. For an iPhone now, I think I saw it was like 5,000, 10 grand almost. For the newest iPhone, which is insane. But I mean, shit, it's most of your time is gonna be took up. Like, You know what I mean? You gonna
Yeah.
have a good time. I mean, you on the phone, you chilling. Like, what's the longest you've seen somebody have a phone for?
Not long. I haven't seen nobody keep a phone in there long. I only heard about it nowadays. Like people be holding on to their phone for a minute, but probably like probably 6 months.
6 months in it, what?
That's
It just gets sold or end up just
yeah, get
somebody end
stolen or
up.
get lost or get a raid or a riot happen, go to the hole, lose it, something,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
What's the most amount of phones you've seen?
Man, probably man, I can't even I ain't really, honestly probably not that many though. Cause like you only really see the phone you get. So it could have been a time where everybody in the building had a phone. I wouldn't have known because I was only seeing the phones I was dealing with. That'd be like 3 or 4 phones, But I know a lot of other people I be hearing like maybe the North Daniels got phones now, the Southsiders got phones. They be like, oh, the white boys just got phones. So it'd be like damn near the whole facility might be having a phone at the time.
Have you have you ever seen somebody use a phone and get real business handled while still locked up?
Hell yeah. I seen a lot of people become millionaires with their phone in there for sure. Yeah, hell yeah, I done seen it. That's why I couldn't figure it out at the time because I don't know, my mentality just wasn't right. I was just trying to escape having life. I was just trying to escape that. So I'm in there trying to get drunk every day, find weed, just talk to bitches. Like, you know what I mean? I was stacking just enough to get another phone, rent that out. I wasn't really seeing no street money. Like, I wasn't thinking about, oh, damn, I might need to buy my brothers. Or I mean, I was taking care of them, but I wasn't thinking like nothing for myself, like to get me started on the street. I wasn't really thinking about that. I ain't gonna lie.
You ever seen somebody
I
with
seen a lot of people.
you ever seen somebody
Which is,
with actual money in prison?
hell yeah. Yeah, I seen it a lot. I had money in prison. I had like probably like $2,000 in cash.
And does that make you a target?
I mean, I ain't telling people I got it though.
But does that
Shit,
make
I'm
you
only
feel
dealing.
like a target?
Hell yeah, no, somebody might tell on you, but ain't nobody gonna really try you though. Cause dudes be walking around with 20, $50,000 chains on in there. Like, you know what I mean? Dudes be having Rolexes in there. It be all type of stuff. Dudes be in there looking like Pablo sometimes.
Yeah, it was a question somebody actually asked. Have you ever had seen any actual real money in there? Um, and me being locked up in Canada, I've only seen it locked up in Canada. I've only seen $1. I think that's about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's about it.
$1. No, I seen some racks in there. I can't lie.
I seen $1. That's about it. And I said, all right, let me get that motherfucker. Hold on, let me touch it. So I know that motherfucker got me bring me some good luck.
For real. See, you only deal with certain people with cash though. Like people that know how to use it in there. Might have a CO locked in or something, or a free staff or a nurse, or they might know how to get it to their visit. I mean, you only gonna deal with certain like 1 or 2 people, not there because not too many people dealing with cash in there.
Yeah. Have you ever seen someone get robbed?
Hell yeah! In the halls, I seen somebody get robbed.
What is it like robbing someone in jail or prison? Is it more
Man,
of a scare tactic more than anything compared to out in the actual world where you have to almost commit a little bit of violence to instead of just being like, "Hey, give me this."
I mean, sometimes dudes you might gotta actually stab them a little bit. Like I done seen dudes just try to scare them and stab them in the leg,
Flint, you
and then they
can't
actually
stab
die from
somebody a
that.
little bit.
That's what I'm saying. Like people, dudes that like I said, these ain't the sharpest tool in the tool shed we talking about here, man. We ain't, you know what I mean? Dudes grew up with the street education.
He said I only stabbed him
You
a
got
little
trench
bit. I
knowledge.
only hit him in the leg.
Hey, dudes, I done seen dudes do that and they'll bleed out and die. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, but it's some if it's like dudes will size you up though too. Like they know who to do it to. Like they'll see, all right, he already acting kind of scary, he acting timid. You know what I mean? Like he be trying to hide, he don't want to come out. Like we just run up in his cell, like he a buster. Or he might be living with a homie and the homie already telling us what's going on with him. Like, yeah, he green, like you could get him
Yeah.
type stuff. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna just do it to anybody because you do it to a certain person that's a part of a certain collective, you're gonna have a war on your hands.
What's the what's the biggest lesson you learned from everything? From all of it. Like all the time that you've done.
Really, to probably the biggest lesson is to not take life for granted, to cherish every moment and and use your time valuably, value your time basically.
Yeah, it's something that we gotta we do gotta value this shit. It's not nothing to play with. And then I have another big question for you. It's like two good questions. I know you gotta go. Um, we gotta we got a good question here, and I think that this is something that a lot of people will probably like to hear your answers for. If you could talk to your younger self, what would you say?
I'll say just go live with your dad. Just go and make that move, champ. Best advice I ever gave myself.
Really? That's
Hell
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Um, here's another one. If a kid from your neighborhood is watching this right now, or was watching this right now, what would your message be to him or her?
And focus on yourself right now. Don't worry about the in crowd, the gang, you know what I mean? It's that shit all temporary. Even your life temporary. So you gotta cherish every moment because eternity is eternity. That's forever. That's what's after this. Your life ain't that long compared to that. So you need to make the right choices now and think about your future. Because if you from my hood, you not thinking about your future, and more likely you ain't got no future, especially depending on how you moving. But just because you from a certain tribe or from an area don't mean that you got to do everything that they doing. You don't got to be a complete follower. You already made the follower move by joining the gang. You could be a leader too, though. You know what I'm saying? Be a leader and invest in your future.
So definitely invest in your future. I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't do. Um, don't wait for it either. Don't wait. Just keep trying. Take risks. If you don't take risks, nothing falls in place. You got to take risks. You have to. Um, and then I have one more question. I feel like maybe we want to take some time, think about it. But when people hear your name 20 years from now, what do you want them to say about you?
Man, that's a good question. Man, I really just wanted to say that I had a I had a great positive impact on a lot of children's lives. Honestly, that's the main thing I want to hear, or that'll be I want to be remembered for is having a positive impact on the future, or not just the youth, but people in general, people that's in on a path that's building that's not where they want to be at.
Yeah. I mean,
I want to be known for helping people get there. You know what I mean? While I help myself.
you know, be that person, be that change, be that something that somebody thinks as soon as they think of change, you know, I don't want them to think about us. You know what I mean? Something that's we trying to change it, trying to change the path that we, you know, like you said, like we've talked about multiple times, we were taught different, we were taught wrong, completely wrong, and we got to change that. Only we can change that. Um, is there anything you want to say? Close this out. You know what I mean?
Nah, that's. I think we did good, man. Once again, I appreciate you, for having me, having this deep discussion, and really, I hope, we continue to build on this in the future, and that this podcast build and touch somebody. Really, like,
Yeah.
I hope the viewers get hit with something hard and put something on their brain that they won't forget too soon.
Yes, that's the goal, man. That is the goal with this podcast, the Square View podcast. It's not going to just be this content. It's going to be other content coming. We're going to get other people in here. Um, I do have a crazy, crazy, crazy interview with somebody who's actually currently incarcerated in probably one of the second worst prisons in America. Um, and I would actually like Flint to probably give me some questions or actually be there to actually ask some questions. And I think that would go crazy to see or have the questions that they have. On that note, we gonna close this shit out. Flint, thank you for coming in, man. Thank you for taking your time to come and sit down and we chop it up. I think everybody needed this part two. You want to shout out the book, your Instagrams, your socials, all that. Talk about that for a second. Let's close that
Oh
out.
yeah, you can check me out on Instagram, free underscore baby Flintstone underscore AG. And then my website is on Wix. It's thegensu.com or it's tyberry.gensu.com if you want to check that out. And also what else I got? The book is called The Plantation Has Wi-Fi. It should be finished by the end of this year, putting a period on it, probably by the end of summer. So I'm gonna try to get that out soon. And that's probably about what I'm working on right now.
Make sure y'all go run up. The plantation has Wi-Fi. That is something that I think everybody's waiting on. We waiting on more fun stuff from Flint. There's gonna be a lot more interviews. Um, we get straight down to business, man. We got straight down to business. And Flint, again, thank you. Appreciate you. This is a Square View podcast. Real people, real stories, real conversations. Again, it's me, Flint. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, comment, all that fun stuff. All three of them things. We'll make this shit keep going. Y'all enjoy y'all day, and we out.